Batman. Oh, we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live after the Syracuse Louisville game. Score Louisville won 85 to 61. Your your thoughts fresh after this loss, Shaq? What's going on?
Well, all I can say is, fortunately, I listened to it on the radio. I didn't see it in person, but what I gathered from it is, we just left Louisville's 3-point shooters just wide open, and as the commentators were saying, every player they had on the floor was a 3-point shooter, and see, the Syracuse is going to wake up. I went through the same thing with my high school team here in Florida, telling them, you got to know where the shooters are all the time. You got to get out to the shooters. You got to make sure you're at arm's length from the shooters and run them off their spot.
Right.
And Syracuse just didn't do that. I mean, you just let guys catch the ball wide open, nobody in front of them, hands down, shooting wide open shots. And, there's no way that, you're going to win a game playing like that.
Well, I was. It's funny you should say that because when I played with you guys were your basketball IQ was very high. I said I know eventually I'll learn basketball, but my idea of playing along with my teammates was I'm gonna outwork the guy that I'm playing against. So 5 minutes before the game would start, I'd sit on the floor and I would stretch and I would watch my guy where he was shooting from. Because players on the road they shoot from their favorite spots because they want to
Right.
make as many baskets as possible. So I'd watch where he shoot from and he might score from a bunch of places, but he's not scoring from those spots because anytime I came down the floor, I would beat him to that spot and I'd stay on that spot. And I was always conscious of where he wanted to be because as long as when they get comfortable, you can go on a roll. But if you're never comfortable, you can make shots, but you're not going to get on a roll.
Well,
And that's just I saw that.
you're wide open with no defense on you, no pressure, don't have to move, don't have to dribble. I remember when I was out in Arizona, they were having a 3-point shooting competition. These guys were going all over the country
Yeah,
shooting 3-point shots to win cash. And there was this real big, heavy set guy that was, lighting it up. He did it in California, then he came to Arizona and did it, then he was heading someplace else to do it, and he was winning every place he goes. And I asked him, I said, how come you shoot so well? He goes, it's very easy to do it if you don't have to move and there's no defense on you. You don't have to dribble. You just pick the ball up and shoot it. He goes, I can do that all day long.
hmm
And some of these guys, you know, aren't used to it. They got to catch the ball and put a dribble on it, or catch the ball and move, or try to find your spot. He goes, I know where my spot is. He goes, I just grab the ball and shoot it. And he was saying, it cost me $500 to go to these different tournaments, but I come home with $2,500, after my expenses. So,
Wow.
it was paying off, very well for him. And my last thing I got to say is, I know Red and the staff are giving these guys a scouting report and letting them know who's who and what they can do. You got to follow what they're telling you. They're not telling you stuff for their own good. They're telling you stuff that's going to help you hopefully win ball games and hopefully make you a better player, hopefully make you a smarter player, hopefully make you understand where somebody else's comfort zone is so you can
Yeah.
get them out of that comfort zone.
Right.
And, I still do it now. Pre-game, I stand there and watch the other team warm up.
hmm
And I tell my players, he likes to catch the ball in this spot. He'll put the ball on the floor or he'll try to sidestep you, or he's left handed or he's right handed. Make him put the ball on the floor. Don't let him go right. Make him use his left. Those things are something that you got to constantly be on the players about, but you got to be able to retain that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got to say, Rick Pitino was good for that. He'd
Oh
give you a
yeah.
scouting report on somebody and tell you, if you do what I tell you to do, you can be very successful. You can be a good defensive player, and you can change this guy's game. and it worked. It worked all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'll be the first person to tell you also because Brendan Malone was the same thing. Brendan Malone would call me to one side and he'd say, "Listen, uh, I want to show you what this guy likes to do." And by game time, I knew I I knew what my guy wanted to do, and then I'd add that to what I saw him do in warm ups. But got a little note here from my floor mate on Lawrence and 11, Mark Anderson. He's got a question for us. Is it coaching? Is it lack of talent, effort? It was hard to watch. And to this, you say what?
Well, to this, I say it's a lack of effort. And I just listened to a podcast the other day with Eric Devendorf and Eton Thomas.
Hmm.
And Eric said he's been to a lot of Syracuse's practices over the years. And he said this year he's been to a couple of practices. And he said back in the day when, they played and practiced and stuff like that, there were fights all the time. Boeheim would just stand out of the way and let you go at it and stuff. And these guys just don't have that competitive heart and don't have the will to say, I'm going to make it hard for you to keep that starting position or to start the next game or whatever the case may be. We're going to battle. And Eton made the comment, you know, back when I played, you get knocked down, you want to jump up quick to make sure that nobody thinks you're hurt or nothing's wrong with you. He goes, and now these guys lay on the floor and they roll around and they wait to be carted off the floor, and there's nothing wrong with them. So
It's
the
fun. It's
players
funny
have
you should
gotten
say that.
soft these days, and players hasn't. They're not competitive.
It's funny you should say that because I was watching. Was it Chris Bell or Taylor that went to block a shot and then fell over his man and he fell on the ground and he laid on the ground and he rolled around there. The other thing, if you lay on the ground too long, the coach will take you out.
Yeah, well, if the coach steps on the floor, you have to come out.
Yeah. So
If
when
the
you
coach
when
steps on the
you
floor too, you have to come
yeah
out of the game.
yeah. So that's the other thing. Nobody wants to come out. So you hit the floor, you bounce right back up. Now you might walk over to the coach and pass out,
Right.
but you got to get back up. There was
I
a
mean,
couple things. Go ahead.
I've done back in the day, trying to draw a charge or, get knocked down or something like that, and I'd stay there for a second or two and then get up. But the second or two I'm lying there and say, I need a little breather for a second. Let me take a little rest here. But by the time the ref saying you got to get up or you got to get out, I'm up.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's funny you say that because that was if you fell down, if you didn't jump right up, we'd come over and you say, "No, no, I'm all right. I was just taking a break,
Yeah,
catching your wind." Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Take a little breather and stuff. But I mean, I honestly feel that the coaches are doing whatever they can to get these guys to understand what the game plan is. Talent wise, they're talented. I mean, they wouldn't be in the situations they're in if they weren't talented enough.
right.
Even the transfers coming from other schools, you had to be talented enough to be there, and you had to be talented enough for Syracuse to recruit you there. So my assumption is the effort's not there,
Hmm.
and there's been plain examples. Everybody's getting paid, so why do I have to put the effort for it? Because I'm gonna get paid regardless, and that's the mentality right now. I'm getting paid. I don't have to do anything more than what I'm doing, and it's not about you know going out there playing your butts off. And like we used to say, hey, we only got a 40-minute game. We go out here, bust our ass, and we got nothing to do for the next 12, 14 hours when that game is over. We go to
Yep.
practice. We got 2 hours in practice, maybe an hour and a half in practice. We go in there, you bust our ass for that amount of time, and then you go do what you want to do and relax. So you're not putting that much energy and effort there. If you're tired during the game, put your hand up, ask coach take you out, give you a breather, then you get your ass back in there and you run hard again. But you
You know it.
can't be a prima donna thinking that I don't have to do nothing. I'm gonna get paid regardless. So what do I care? Well, guess what? If you don't care, give the money back and play for nothing.
So we got another little got a comment here from Bill Riles. How you doing, Bill? Is it hard to build team continuity with the roster changing every year? To this,
Well, go ahead, Rose.
now to this, you say what?
Oh, I'm saying like this. Your roster changes every year, but you got these guys together from probably June until you have your first game the end of October.
Mm,
If you ain't got your shit together by then, something's wrong because we go through the same thing. We have 4 or 5 months with these kids before our first game. If
mm.
you haven't gotten it by now, I'm gonna give you the Bobby Knight scenario. If you're not motivated to play, guess what? Bench meet ass, ass beat bench. You'll get motivated one way or another to get off that bench to play in the game. And if you don't, then obviously you don't care and you're at the wrong place, you're in the wrong sport, and you should just pack your shit and go home.
It's funny you should say that. Another thing that I noticed is this, and it's a big thing that I noticed going from playing in college to playing as a professional. When you're playing in college, I remember I was running down the floor and I tripped, fell, rolled, and jumped up, and somebody was on the sidelines going, "Way to go, Rosie! Woohoo! Way to go!" As soon as you start getting paid, when you fall down, they're yelling, "Hurry up! Get back on defense! Get up! What are you doing? Taking a
Right.
break?" Because
Yep.
another difference is in college, if you score 2 points in the first half and 20 points in the second half, the talk is, oh, what a great comeback he came that this shooter did. If you're getting paid, the comment is, you scored 22 in the second half. Why didn't you score 22 in the first half?
Right.
The
Right.
whole, and so they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because the players still have the college mentality, but in actuality, they're getting paid and people expect different things out of
I was asked in high school, you know, how do you prepare yourself for a game? How do you get ready for a game? I said, when the referee throws the ball up for the jump ball, I'm ready. When that ball goes in the air for the jump ball, I'm ready. There's no motivation. There's no, pep talk or nothing that'll get me going more than seeing that ball go in the air. And, we're going to get it and we're going to get it on.
them. Yeah, since you had to go and bring that up, since I played with you so many years, for our people that are watching this, what Dale used to do is we would go around and shake everybody's hand before the game started. Dale would go around and cordially shake everybody's hand on the court except the man he had to play. And the guy would stand there with his hand out, and Dale would just look at him and say a couple of choice words, which I don't were kind of embarrassing, but
I
he
didn't
just let
swear
him
back
know.
then.
But my hearing was wrong, and just left this guy. He's like, "Hey, you can have your feelings to anything you want. We're not friends. We're here to play." And I remember that sticking in my mind. And although I never did it physically. In my mind, psychologically, once you did that, I was like, okay, all bets are off. I don't care who these other people are until the end of the game.
We
But
could
that
be
is,
buddy buddy. Yeah. We could be buddy buddy, but once that ball goes up for the jump ball, all bets are off. All that friendship goes out the window. And when it's all over again, yeah, we'll shake hands. When we both
yeah,
retire, we can be best of friends.
exactly. Now I made a couple other notes. Uh, I was watching the body language. So first thing I did is when I watched the game, I turned the sound down and I watched the screen and I tried to get what kind of feeling that I got from actually watching the players. And the feeling that I got from watching the Syracuse players is they were very like every time a referee made a call, they were like, oh, their body language was negative. Um, when somebody would miss a pass, the guy that threw the pass and the pass was missed, and they turn around, they're like, oh. Or if they made it, or if there was some kind of call was made on defense, the player gesturing to the referee was like, like, what, and I've always said there's a couple things that you can control. You have to be in control of a lot of things. Like your body language on the court says a lot. And normally, when a referee would make a call, a bit of advice. When a referee would make a call against me, I would go over to the referee and I would say, "Oh, can I do that?" I said, "Can I do that?" And he go, "Yes." And he pat me on the butt, and I go down there, and I could karate chop the guy coming to the basket, and he would make a call. He was so happy that I came to him without negative output. I just walked over and said, "Oh, can I do that?" Something as simple as that. And I turn around and he go, "Yeah, sure." And I turn around and walk away, and he's thinking, "Oh, that was a pleasant interaction." You go over there questioning the call all the time, you're gonna rub some people the wrong way. They're gonna go like, "Listen, this is my job, and you're questioning what I'm doing. So how about you do what you do, and I'll do what I do?" And you're gonna create animosity without even doing without even accomplishing anything. Go over there and ask him a question. "Hey, what did I do?" And he'll explain it to you. You go, "Okay, well, that's fine." You created a positive situation out of a negative situation. But you start being negative, referees watch video. They see you
and,
do it all the time,
and they
and
talk
they
to
will
each
catch
other.
you.
And they
They
talk
talk
to
to
each
each other
other.
for
Yes,
sure.
sir. Yes, sir. I tell the kids
So,
all the time, you act out on this official, he's going to not make calls for you. He's going to make calls against you. And then he's going to tell all of his counterparts
yep.
about you to watch out for you during the games. I learned a long time ago. The guys following me and hacking me. There's no call or nothing, and I would just ask the ref, "You gonna make the call? Because if not, I got to take care of it myself." And they look at me like, "What are you talking about? You ain't making the call. I got to take care of it myself." That's all I got to say. And it's like, well, I don't want to see nobody get broke up or hurt out here, and I don't want to see you get thrown out of the game. So let's let's watch out for this stuff. It's easy to do. You ain't gotta yell and scream at the ref and get mad at him for a call. It's a judgment on his part. That's why I hate this instant replay stuff. And let's go view the camera and
Ooh,
run that back. And everybody's putting their finger in the air. Run that back. Run that back. Get your ass back on defense and play. You got to worry about running it back. Get it back on the other end.
I had a similar one of my like when the referees would miss things often, and the guy that I was playing against would start smiling like that he got away with something. I would simply walk up close to him and say, "The referees here are not to protect me. They're to protect you from me."
Right?
And they would stop and go like, "Oh crap!" Then they would stop on their own. I would just make little statements. It's head games.
It started years ago with Jimmy and Larry Kelly and that, and they'd come by us and say, Jimmy would say it in a different way. He goes, "Yeah, that motherfucker grabbing me and shit like that. Get him off me. I'm run him off a couple screens here. We'll get him off you.
Yep.
Larry Kelly said, "Hey man, I can't even get over for a shot. Run him through this way. We'll get a couple screens for you. Get you a shot." And the same thing with Marty and Hal. You know, oh, they're holding me. They're not letting me get the ball. Let's run through these screens. We'll get you open for a shot. Simple as
Shake
that.
you loose.
Use those screens. Take advantage
Oh
of the
yeah.
situation because guarantee you, if and when we went zone, could nobody walk through that lane without getting hit. And I always remember John Wallace. Man, these guys are soft. You let a guy just come right down the lane and get an easy pass, and that guy come down and get a rebound. He goes, when we played, the guy come down the lane and we hit him so hard and so many times and something like that. He'd grab his forehead and be like, Coach, take me out of the game. Coach, I got to go to the ER, get me out. Man, they killing me in here,
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
now it's like, it's like you're walking, I can't say through the park. I can say walking on the beach, It's like, there's nothing there to stop you. Not a
Uh,
thing. And I can't wait to see Derek tomorrow because Lampkin had a double double tonight. He had double figure points, double figures and rebounds. I gotta tell Derek, 44. He steps up sometimes, And
Yeah,
Louisville was a tough team to play against, and he did get a double double out of the situation.
yeah. He put in work, but make sure you say it, you tap on the shoulder, and have a person between you and him.
Well, I talked to Bernie earlier tonight, and he said that he was going to see Derek later. They wanted me to go out with him, but I was just coming from practice with the grandson, and
Hmm.
I couldn't meet him. And he said Derek did ask about me and stuff. I said, well, I'll see him tomorrow. So I'm going to try and get him and do a little interview with him and post
Okay.
it out here so everybody can see it. But I will, have a long microphone when I do bring up the question about Lampkin. I just don't want anything swinging, or I might just have security around me and stuff, and do it that way.
Please give him my regards. See, we got another question from Bill. He was like, "How would Coach Boeheim handle his squad in terms of lack of effort?"
Bobby Knight him, Bobby
Hey,
Knight him.
that was
You
an
know,
easy question.
Boeheim will tell you. If you don't want to play, sit down. Simple as that. If you don't want to play, sit down. I don't.
Yeah, but
I got guys here waiting to play. I'll take a chance.
now this is what Mark Anderson from the 11th floor Lawrenson seems like. If you send somebody to the bench, they'll end up transferring.
Well,
Oh
guess what?
well. Oops.
If you get sent to the bench, that must mean you didn't want to be there anyway.
You know,
Because I don't know of anybody that wants to sit the bench. So my best bet is bust your butt all the time you're out there playing. Do the best you can. If you're sick, you're not feeling well, tell the coach before you go out there and embarrass yourself. Don't wait until after the fact and tell him you wasn't feeling good. Because guess what? If you're not feeling good and you can't play and you can't put the effort forth, then don't go out there. But if you don't care about going to the
yeah.
bench, keep on going. Because guess what? I'm still pretty sure that you can get a late night bus and a late flight anywhere you want to go.
Hey, the funny thing is you made something reminded me of something that something that Coach Boeheim. I remember him saying his first year. He said, "Listen, when you get to my timeouts, I don't want to hear anything. I don't care what you have to say." He said, because if I had to call a timeout, whatever you have to tell me wasn't working. So I don't care
Hmm.
what it is. So that always made me think that anytime the timeout was called when I came there, whatever was on my mind was gone. I had to be there to listen to what he had to say. So
The other thing that gets me is, right now a lot of young players is, they make a mistake or they turn the ball over or they take a bad shot or something like that. Oh, my fault, my fault, my fault. I know it's your fault. That's why I'm yelling at you. You don't have to tell me it's your fault. I see it's your fault. That's why I'm yelling at you. You don't have to tell me that. Just get back and play defense or, make up for that mistake. Don't stand there telling me, oh, my fault, patting your chest and stuff like, oh, my bad. Yes, it was your bad. Another bad, you're going to be Bobby Knighton.
well, the funny thing that I made a couple notes here. I noticed that with the Louisville defense, that Syracuse was setting up their plays from a step inside the logo. They were so far away from the basket that they weren't dangerous. I mean, even if you got past your man, there was still four men behind you.
Right.
They were just setting up way too far away, being too cautious. They were actually looked like they were afraid of the defense.
Well, I mean, you pass the ball. In theory, you should be getting closer and closer to the basket.
Right. They're going east and west.
You shouldn't. You might call a play at half court, but you got to advance the ball at least to the foul line.
I also noticed that the one thing. So when I turned the sound down, I was paying attention to the action of the players. Like there were loose balls on the floor. Louisville was going for the loose ball. Now Syracuse was down, but Louisville was going for the loose ball. What does that tell you?
They want to bury you.
Yeah.
They want to bury you.
Um,
They want to put it on you. And just listening to the commentators and stuff. Bell normally spots up in the corner looking for the shot, and I think Starling a couple of times was looking for him to spot up in the corner. He's cutting to the box.
yep.
Your offense changes Everybody should be aware of that. If my position is going to change, I'm going to let my guys know I'm not going to sit in the corner. I'm going to pretend I'm going to stay here and I'm going to cut to the rim. You don't have your point guards and your best passer guessing on what you're supposed to do or what you're going to do.
Let's see what else I add on here. I mean, the one thing that I think is also very important is body language. I mean, when you miss a pass, don't drop your shoulders. Run over to that guy and find out why you missed the pass. The one thing that I noticed they do very little of is we used to talk all the time together. Like anytime there was a slow time on the floor, or if I noticed something going on, or if I would run past Ed Moss, Ed would say, "Hey, is your man playing or is he leaving you when we run the play?" And if the answer was yes, then he would start to play. My man would start to leave, going to help out. And he would tell me, "Just duck right in, catch the ball, get a quick basket." So you can't find. He says I can't really see you because you're back there. What's going on? This is all going on during the game. We run past one another.
Well, it's like me, Marty, and Lewis all the time. We get our assignments for the game, who we guard, and what's going on. But throughout the course of the game, if my guy was too strong for me or too physical with me, I'd tell Marty, and Marty would switch with me. Marty would take the guy. The same thing with Lewis. If the guy was uh, too physical with him, or the guy was a little quicker for him, we'd switch men. And then vice versa. I mean, it's not a point where the coach says, "Okay, I want you to guard this guy and stay on this guy, that guy." Well, yeah, and the guy's kicking my butt. We got to make an adjustment, or I'm
Yeah,
going to be sitting on the bench. So guess what? We talk amongst each other. Let's switch men. You take him, I'll take yours, and we'll go from there. And see how it works. Don't wait till the guy gets 20, and then you want to switch, and now it's too late because now he's in the rhythm.
now it's funny you should say that because everybody asks me all the time. Like when I was doing TV for Time Warner, they used to say like, "Wow, the bigs are having a tough time getting to the corner." And they asked me, "Did you ever have a tough time getting to the corner?" And it used to make me laugh because I never went to the corner. Coach Boeheim wanted me to go to the corner, and I remember on numerous occasions that you would bump me back, Lewis would bump me back, and they would say, "Hey, no, you got to stand in the basket." So when I would start to the corner, I would get bumped back from one of my teammates. So coach said, "Hey, I don't care how you do it, you guys work it out." We communicated, so I never had to go to the corner because I was protecting the middle.
And
So
you got
that's what I was happy about.
and you talked back there. You let us
Exactly.
know a guy was coming across the baseline, a guy was going to corner, or there was a shooter on the wing, or whatever. These guys don't talk. You can't say switch after the guy that got the ball and shot. It's too
Yeah,
late.
and you got to give him a little, got to give him a chicken wing, a hip check.
Hey, this is like Bernie Fine always taught us: if I hit you first, you can't hurt me.
Yep.
I gotta hit you first. The guy can't hurt you if you hit him first. Don't let him hit
Listen,
you. Don't let him pin you down. You gotta, you play off. You're on defense. You keep your forearms up. So now
yep.
I can hit the screen and slide through it. You know, I can't hold my hands down by my side and get hit by a screen because I'm dead in the doornail.
Listen, Lewis tipping that scale at 168, and me tipping it at at I was 190, 7 foot 190. Lewis was 6'9", 168. If we stood back and let guys run into us, it hurts.
Yeah,
So, rule of thumb is he's running down the floor. I take 2 steps up and hit the guy. Then all of a sudden, it really doesn't hurt. And the other guy looks at you like, what the heck? So it's like I thought I was playing against this little skinny guy, and all of a sudden you getting hit with chicken bones, chicken bones and African soup bones from all over the place, and it makes
and
you
that hurts.
reevaluate who you're playing against.
Yes, sir. And that
Let me
hurts.
see. I think that's in Louisville. One thing that I noted a couple of times, Louisville was up, and Louisville crashed the boards with 5 guys. Syracuse was putting up a shot, and 2 or 3 guys were backpedaling out before the ball got up there. You got to change that. You got to work on your body language. And the other thing I noticed that like it's the way you respond to the referees. Keep your body language positive, and don't poke the tiger. You, big fella. big fella comes down the floor. John, John, at the guy he's playing against, the guy comes down and scores on him 2 times in a row. There's an old saying: "Let sleeping dogs lie."
Right. Yeah. The other thing is, we were asked a question earlier about having new guys come in every year. Well, Louisville had to rearrange their whole roster. Every player on their team left, and the coach brought all new players in.
Yep.
Every player is a new player at Louisville, and that they seem to play well together. So,
Yep.
I don't know what you're doing in practice. I don't know what the mindset of the players that you have, but maybe we should have you know, a mental evaluation or coming to God or something.
Yeah.
When you bring the talent in.
Well, and Mark, thanks for stopping by, Mark. Have a good night. We got a buddy that just jumped in here. Look who this is,
Oh, JB Reef Snyder.
Shaq.
Yes,
JB.
sir.
Let's see here. I always have to communicate on defense, and if a guy is setting a screen, Coach and Bernie taught us to hit them with our forearm right in their chest and let them know they will get hit if they're setting a screen or cutting through the lane. Listen, it was so funny talking to Hal Cohen once, Hal and Marty. I said, listen, guys, the only guy that I can't out rebound is the guy that's coming from the high post. So if you hip check him or you hit him, Marty started hitting people and smiling like, wow,
All right.
this is pretty good. Hal's the same way. So you're absolutely right, JB.
Marty ran up to you and said, "Did I get him? Did that help? Did that work?"
Oh, yeah. Marty was hilarious.
But
He smiling.
right. But you can tell that down the line with Coach Boeheim and Bernie, Brendan Malone, Rick Pitino, that we all learn the same stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to apply it during the games. And I'm quite sure, Red is telling these guys the same thing. It's a point of, doing it. Don't
Yeah.
just shake your head, yes, sir, yes, sir. And, you got to go out there and do it and show that you're capable of doing it.
That's one thing that I would. So when I go in and talk to high school kids, I walk in there and they're like, how did you become how did you become a Syracuse player? How did you play in Europe for 13 years? I said, you want to know the honest to goodness truth? They said, yes. I said, well, basically, your coaches. The difference is the coaches are telling you the same thing that they told me. The difference is I listened.
Right.
I listened,
Exactly.
I paid attention, and I reacted to it. I wanted to thank General Shoes and Tidy Tracks from Endicott, New York, 607-484-9300. Special thanks to John Golly Jr. for your continued support. Hey, man, there's plenty of room to go up. I like the fact that we're able to give a couple of pointers on things that would help out. Hey, all we can do is roll up our sleeves, and I'll be wearing Syracuse orange again next time you see me.
Well, I told everybody last time we spoke, I'd tell you the outcome of the game. And that game against Pines Charter, we had a player no show. We got our Bucks kicked at home by 13, and we had no effort. And we had no effort at all the way around. I mean, kids walking up and down the floor, kids, trying to go one-on-one, which isn't our game. And, we had a tough week before that. We played 4 games in Fort Myers, and we had 6 days off before our next game, and we gave them 4 days off. Probably a mistake on our part, but a lack of effort on the players' part. So we introduced the Bobby Knight plan. And our next game, we played this past Saturday. We went to Naples. We played Naples High School, and we beat them 76-19. We held them to 13 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the second quarter, 1 point in the third quarter, and 2 points in the fourth quarter. Now in high school basketball down here, if you get up by 35 points, it's a running clock. We had 33 points difference, the differential at halftime, our possession. So we tell our players, you got to score first off of this possession so we can get a running clock.
Hmm.
And then it's got to get down below 30 in order for the clock not to run. Well, it was feeling good. Our
You
players
guys
played
had
great
it going.
defense. We had fast breaks, unbelievable. We shut down their top scorer, and you know it's all history. Now we're in a tough part of our season. We got 4 games in 4 days. We play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week.
Hmm.
So we'll definitely see what we're made of. Going down the stretch.
All right, check. We got Andrew. He
Oh,
says
Andrew Award, yeah.
my father took me to Manly. He graduated in SU in 1962 and was friends with Ernie Davis. My first game, I saw you guys pounce Canisius.
Well, Canisius was one of those, interstate rivalries that we had. Canisius, St. Bonaventure,
Niagara.
Niagara. Then those games there, you had to win because too many of the players on the other teams were, close to home to us. So, we had to make sure that we represented New York State well.
Absolutely. Got one more here.
Rex Trowbridge.
Good show, guys. Points well taken. Thank you, sir. Well,
Rex, it's
Shaq.
always good to hear from you and to receive your text messages all the time on Facebook and that. And all the best to you and those great grandsons of yours. And I always remember them coming to the alumni event and shooting around with them a little bit at the Carmelo Center. And I appreciate you always thanking me and recognizing us for doing that. It's part of our family circle. We take care of our own, regardless if we play with you or not. We're all still family.
Absolutely. And with that, Shaq, great seeing you. We'll get ready for the next one. Look forward to finding out how your kids do again. Good luck. And how's that go? Introduce what to what?
The old Bobby Knight saying, bench, this is ass, this is bench.
All righty. Well, thanks
Yeah.
everybody for watching. It's been fantastic. I'll talk. We'll see everyone later in the next game.
All right.
Take care now.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.